Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my first travel video. My name's Taylor and I'm a US American, but I've been living and working in Germany for the past few years. I don't know if you guys know this, but Germans get a ton of vacation days, especially in comparison to the US. And in those days off, I love to travel, as you can probably see by all of my postcards that I collect behind me. I've wanted to start a YouTube channel for a while, if not just to make videos for myself, but also because I'm a bit of a hyper organizer, and this just means I love doing the research, I love planning all of the minutia that goes into traveling, and if I can take my own research and my own experiences and somehow help other people when they're planning their trips, then that would be really fantastic. I would really love to foster a community of people that are focused on leaving a positive impact on the people and the places that they visit. So if this sounds like something that you would be interested in, please go ahead and click the subscribe button. I've got quite a few trips planned for this year, so I would love to travel the world with you. So I'm currently back home after a weekend in Heidelberg, and before we get to my travel vlog, I actually wanted to start by giving you a little bit of an introduction to the city itself. Heidelberg has a population of about 160,000 people, so it's like a mid-sized city for Germany, I would say. And what's interesting is about a quarter of the population are students, so the population is quite young. And I unfortunately wasn't able to visit the university, and I would really suggest that you do if you're there. But it's actually the oldest university in Germany. It was founded in 1386. The city itself is situated on the Neckar River. The city is on the southern bank, but you can also go to the northern bank, and that's where you'll get all of the great views, and I'll take you there with me. Heidelberg also has a pretty complicated political history, and I'm also going to be discussing that further in my travel vlog when I take you to specific places, because that's really important to understanding why these sites are so worth visiting. So without further ado, I want to discuss with you the top 6 things that you should do in Heidelberg. So we're going to take the train to the castle. You also have a way that you can walk up, which takes about 15 minutes. This train takes about 4 minutes to get up there. We decided to take it because we're already going to be walking a lot today on the other side of the river. I think it cost 8 per person, but we got in for 4 per person, including the ticket to the castle, because they had a deal for Valentine's Day that if you kiss your partner, you get in for half price. So we're just taking a walk right now around the outside of the castle walls. You buy your ticket already down when you're going up with the train, and then you get entrance also into the Apotheken Museum, which is inside of the castle walls, and also to the castle itself. Hi guys, so I just got finished going through what was available for us to see in the castle, and we're standing now in the Schlossgarten, so the gardens of the castle, and you can actually see the castle right behind me, and this was the perfect place to start. We're actually here in February and we lucked out on the weather. If you do come to Heidelberg, I would definitely recommend that you come either in the summer or during Christmas time to see the Christmas markets. But I really wanted to describe to you a little bit about the history of the castle, because I think that's really important to understanding why it's just so significant that it's still standing in the first place. So the castle is actually meant for the electors of Palatine, and sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Palatine.
And so pretty much this was a polity of the Holy Roman Empire. Because it was so decentralized and it wasn't at all unified, they actually had a lot of power over the people that they were kind of like the royals of our time. And it's actually just fantastic that this Renaissance building is still standing, because it's been destroyed and rebuilt partially multiple times. It went through the 30 Years' War, the 9-Year War. It was actually also struck twice by lightning, which destroyed parts of the building. So just the idea that it's still standing and that you can still visit it and see so much detail is, to me, absolutely fantastic. When you get up here, you also are about 80 meters above the old town, so you have an incredible view over the entire city. You can really see pretty much all of the main points that I'll be discussing in this video, so I would really recommend to come here as your first activity. Hi, so I'm just sitting outside of the Apotheke Museum, or the Pharmacy Museum, which is, it's not exactly hidden, but it's very much a gem that I wasn't expecting to enjoy so much within Heidelberg. And they have these full setups of different pharmaceutical collections that they got usually from different private collectors, and there's some from the Baroque period, some from the Renaissance, some from the 18th century, and it's just really interesting to go back into the history of pharmacy and of medicine, and to understand exactly how things all came together into what the system that we currently have today. So when you go in, it really takes you almost back in time, just having these like full setups. I think nowadays it can sometimes be difficult to see the connection between our current more like sterile pharmaceutical industry that people sometimes have a hard time trusting, and where the roots of that really began. And I think that this museum does a great job of really showing you how we got from point A to point B, how we got from the Middle Ages, where pharmaceuticals was just really becoming some sort of industry or profession, to the point we are at right now. And I think that this does a great job of showing how a lot of the medicines that people used to take were made from plants, and that's still true for some of the medications we have today, that they found their roots in different types of flora and even fauna. So it's definitely a place that you should visit. Before crossing over the old bridge, there's a monkey statue off to the side. The original dates back to the 15th century, but it was unfortunately stolen during the 9-Year War, and it wasn't replaced again until 1979. If you touch the mirror, it's supposed to bring that person wealth. If you can see off to the side, there are also these tiny little mice, and they're meant to bring someone fertility. The Alte Brücke, or Karl Theodor Bridge, connects the northern and southern parts of Heidelberg across the Neckar River. This current bridge was constructed nearly 250 years ago, and is the 9th bridge actually in the same exact location. This is really a focal point of the city. A lot of people gather there to watch the sunset, and you can take really great photos from this vantage of the castle and of the old city. Hey guys, we just crossed the bridge, and now we're walking up to the Philosophers Way, or Philosophers Way, and it's a very steep hill. Wear good shoes, bring your inhaler, and get ready to climb. Meet you at the top. Hi guys, so I made it to the top, just a little bit sweaty and dispatched with the scarf. So this was named Philosophers Way because a lot of philosophers and professors and poets and artists came to this path that used to be rougher, now it's paved, just to kind of contemplate life, and I can completely understand why they would do it from this vantage. The views are just beyond description. You can see the castle behind me from a different perspective now, and we're going to head now up to Heidelberg and see what we can see from up there. It's just another about 3.5 kilometers from here, so I'll see you in a bit. Hi, so I am sitting right now in one of the 8,000 seats that are available at the Thingstätte. I don't know if it's Thingstätte or Thingstätte, but like many cities in Germany, Heidelberg has a pretty disturbing and sometimes also shameful past in terms of the role it played in the rise of the Nazi regime. And where we are right now, this is pretty much like an open-air amphitheater where there were propaganda performances and theater performances, and it was meant to provoke this sense of Volksgemeinschaft. And the translation of it is like people's community, but the Nazis used it in a more racialized and hierarchical way. Right now, it's actually just not really being used. There used to be a festival for Walpurgisnacht that used to be here. They used to have fire dancers and jugglers and everything, but because of a fire that broke out in 2017 and a person that was injured, they've just pretty much blocked off the amphitheater for the nights that usually took place. But it just kind of, the amphitheater is huge, and it just gives you a moment to kind of reflect on the past of Germany, and it's not always easy to think about, and it's not always comfortable, but I think it's really important. So I really recommend that you take the walk up here. It's a pretty long walk. I would really recommend bringing good walking shoes and some extra water, but it's worth it, definitely worth it. If you are visiting Heidelberg, there is no doubt that you are going to be going into the old town to get to see many of these sites, but the old town itself is a site. In 1693, during the 9-Year War, the French destroyed much of the city, which was then rebuilt in the Baroque style. The Heidelberger Schloss is looking down over the old town and has almost a powerful presence over the city. You always feel kind of like watched by it. You can see it from places such as the Market Square. And another incredible building that you should definitely go and see that was actually built during the Renaissance period, so before the French destroyed the city, but it survived, is the Haus zum Ritter. This building has served as a hotel for the last 300 years. So that's it, the top 6 things that you should do in Heidelberg. I just wanted to give you one last tip before I leave, and that's if you have the chance to get to Heidelberger Schloss, that you should really do a tour. They schedule them throughout the day. You can check that online before, and I think you actually get to go inside more of the rooms than what's just available to the public that just buys the general ticket. And we just unfortunately ran out of time. If you go there, go for 2 full days, I would say, so you get to really see everything in the city. And if you like this video, go ahead and click like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.